Thank you so much for staying tuned to this channel. If you just joined us, this is TMI this morning on ITV, Sunday's edition, and we're taking a look at the race for leadership position in the National Assembly. We're focusing more on the House of Representatives. Before we go into that, let's take a look at the composition of the House before I introduce my guest, who is already on standby to express his views and opinions on this particular discourse. The ruling All Progressive Congress so far won 162 seats out of 325 seats declared by the Independent National Electoral Commission. Meanwhile, the combined strength of the opposition is 163 seats, with the PDP having 102 seats, LP and NNPP have 34 and 18 seats respectively. ABGA 4 seats, ADC and SDP 2 each, while YPP has 1. Okay, now these are some of the composition of the House right now. And speaking on the alliance, it's like the opposition, so to speak, are planning to come together to just for power when you talk about the leadership of the National Assembly, both in the red and the green chamber. How do you think all this will pan out? We'll take a look at these and all other things connected to this topic of today's edition of This Morning on ITV. With me here in the studio, I have a youth mobilizer, a politician, an entrepreneur, a human rights activist, political analyst. Join me to welcome, should I call you comrade now? He's a comrade. Yeah. Yes, Samuel Ehigato, aka Aras. Welcome to TMI Sunday's edition. I appreciate your coming.
Good morning, Wilson.
All right. Well, Bashir Kadiri couldn't make it to the studio today. Not too worry. Next time he's going to be here to share his thoughts and opinion on this particular topic. He's just unavoidably absent, and of course, Joey Mafidon and maybe making his way down to the studio. You never just can tell. Quickly, the elections, it has come and gone. Results already announced. We have the composition of the House, both the red and the green chamber. And right now they are talking about leadership position of the House. In the Senate, we have the President. In the House of Representatives, the Speaker. And the opposition, they have this feeling that this might just be the day they've been waiting for to have the recognition in the House. What do you feel about this permutation? Take it off from there.
Thank you very much, Wilson. You know, parliamentary system has a very clear rules. There's no way the opposition can aspire to be the Senate President. There's no way the opposition party can aspire to become the Speaker of the House. Because it is a very, very clear rules and regulations that the majority provides the Senate President and the Speaker. And when you look at this opposition, as you say opposition, we have opposition of almost about 5 parties. While APC alone, look at the House of Senate, APC has alone 59 or 60, thereabout, and they have even less, because the whole seat is 109 on that place. When you look at the House of Representatives, APC was able to galvanize 160 votes. While you look at the rest, having about 162 or 63 votes, just a vote of a difference with 5 parties. Then one of this party, is it going to be PDP? Is it going to be Labour? Is it going to be NNPP? Is it ABGA that's going to now provide the Speaker or the Senate President from the opposition? What kind of democracy are we going to start with that? What I believe, Wilson, is going to happen, you know, politics is a game of chance. I believe the opposition is trying to play a power game that they can be recognized, so that maybe some principal seats could also get to them. Because you know the usual arrangement in the Senate, when the Senate President is elected, the Speaker is elected, most principal officers are being most likely given to those that contested for the positions. like majority leader, minority leaders, and Senate committees and all those positions that are also there available. So I think they're only trying to present themselves for recognition, but not to battle for the leadership of the red or the green chamber.
All right. Now let's take a look at the positions that will be available during the 10th Assembly. We have the Senate President, we have Deputy Senate President, we have the Speaker of the House, Deputy Speaker of the House, and of course other principal officers' position will be offered. You have Majority Leader, Deputy Majority Leader, Chief Whip, Deputy Chief Whip. And right now, you said that the position cannot aspire. They are aspiring already. They say they want to be.
That's what I'm
If not for the Senate, at least for the House of Representatives. Take it up from there, because I say no way that they have all it takes right now because of their number.
Listen.
Yes.
Listen. We should, politics is a game. And when you're playing the game, you got to make yourself relevant. You got to make yourself available. These are principles of politics. So I believe, like in the House of Senate, what we should be thinking, for me personally, in the House of Senate issue, is which zone should the Senate President be issued to be zoned to? That is what we should be discussing. In a matured mind, and in a unified mind, and in an all-inclusive mind. That is what we should be thinking of, not opposition trying to aspire for those major positions, because it is not going to work.
Is it a crime to aspire?
No, it's not a crime to aspire, but the principle of the parliamentary system, majority provides the House presidency. You don't break principle because now you have a lot of oppositions now there, but still on less than the majority of the party, the winning party and the ruling party. You don't come and override those issues. What we expect now is this. Good. In the Senate, we should think which zone should we zone the Senate President to, because we now have a president from the Southwest. We have a Vice President from the Northeast. Now we have 4 geopolitical zones that are left out. On that basic now, we should be thinking which are less carried along, which are less inclusive zone. All these political eras, so far so good, which I believe, I cannot even say the Southeast have not got their cake, because they have been there in the Senate President severally for many years in this new democracy, so they cannot say they have been left out. But when we say the South-South zone, I believe they have been more or less marginalized. And in this election that just took place, I think it would have been an opportunity to carry the South-South zone along, because looking at the voting strength that came from the Southeast, the voting strength that came from the South-South, it is inevitably to speak that it should go to the South-South, because roughly about 45% was got in the South-South, while in the Southeast we got not up to 15%, the whole of the Southeast. So people that did not bake the cake, people that did not want the cake to be baked, and I say Miloko, that this is their turn. I think that's the wrong goal.
If you talk about people that didn't bake the cake or don't want the cake to be baked, I mean, they fought for the party. They fought for the ruling party, even in their state. So they fought for themselves. To snap the party, voted for, and showed it to all the world to have a look at it. So if you say they didn't take part in the baking of the cake, they may not agree with you.
Discussed. Let me tell you why the baking of the cake must be discussed. We are talking about the president-elect right now, who is the principal officer of APC to be elected as president, and who is the master of the party, will be the father of the nation. Now, if you look at the senators that came from the Southeast, let's compare their result now, Wilson, as president.
Are you talking about the number or the states won by these people?
The numbers matters. In democracy, the number is what matters, Wilson. It is not the state. It is not the people. The numbers. Because the more, the merrier. So you cannot tell me you were able to get roughly about 50,000 votes as a senator. And for your president principal position, which is the president-elect, we're not able to get 10,000 votes. What happens there? And then you are coming to request for a cake that you refuse to work for. They play the principal politics in the Southeast. We try to tell the truth. I don't put water in my mouth to say the truth. They have no right to say it is their turn because they did not bake the cake that produced the president.
They did not bake the cake. They don't,
Yes.
because if you take a look at it, even Lagos State, they lost in the presidential election.
You are saying Lagos State lost the election with how many
In
votes?
the presidential
But
election.
you saw the vote that came out from Lagos State.
So, Steve, you take a look at
No,
the
listen, you
population.
saw the vote that came out from the vote that came out from Lagos State alone was even more than the vote that came from about 4 or 5 states of the
Calm down.
Southeast votes.
If you want to walk by the number of
Yes.
voters in this region, at least they pull their weight.
In which way?
If you want to go by the numbers
how many percentage?
of various voters,
With how many percentage? Listen, in Lagos State,
yes,
in Lagos State, let me just say, let me use Rivers State. Let's leave Lagos State because you want to push there because Labour won in Lagos. But how many percentage did APC get in Lagos?
So I know saying
It
that
was
they-
a 50,
they
it was a
do it
50
by
something to
numbers.
40 something percentage. Listen to me. The vote from Rivers, the vote from Rivers alone, which is a South state, was more than the vote from 3-4 states from the Southeast state. If River is talking that we need it, we deserve it. I, Prince Samuel Eyigiato, Comrade Aras, I will support them.
So you're talking
If
about
Edo State-
basing it right now on the cake.
Yes, if Edo
Being
State,
baked.
if Edo State is requesting for it, I will say yes, they deserve it because they worked hard.
Are you now
for
saying
the
that they
presidency.
should throw away zoning?
Listen to me, it's not throwing away the
Because
zone.
right now you're talking about those that really contribute.
Yes,
to
if you are
baking of
looking
the
at
cake by
zone now,
numbers.
we have taken about the zone now. We say which zones that were not carried along. We have other major positions like majority position, the House Whip. We can say, okay, Northwest, North Central will be considered a majority in the House Whip. What I believe, more or less, the East, the Southeast, can vow and say they won in an all-inclusive to be carried along is the speakership position in the House of Representatives. Do you know why I say so?
Why?
I go back to the cake.
That same cake.
Yes, I go back to the cake of election of Bola Ahmed Tinubu, president-elect. If you look at the cake, cake is a round cake. And when you look at the statistic of the cake, cut it into 2. You'll find out the north bake half of the cake. Then you now have another half of the cake remaining. The southwest, the southeast bake 75% or 85% of that cake. Only 15% ingredients was brought by the southeast to make that cake.
Based on their numbers.
Based on numbers of electoral results declared by the INEC. So now, in politics, you don't use ethnicity, you don't use religion, you don't use sentiment.
What about the zoning formula they talked about?
The zoning has nothing to do with ethnicity nor religion. Listen, it has nothing to do with it. It has to do with the Nigerian geopolitical politics that said all the different zones must be carried along as an all-inclusive government. And when you are carrying that all-inclusive government along, I, personally, if I'm the president-elect, first thing I would do, how did my vote came about? Who really worked hard for my vote to be achieved? Who really worked hard for these positions? Even the House of Senate we are talking about, the House of Rep we are talking about, who brought the majority of this majority we have? Listen. Southwest, South-South, North. Majority of the Southeast were won by Labour, APGA, SDP. Not even the APC. And you are only 1 or 2 that came from there, or 3 of you that came from there, are claiming our right. Over 60 senators from other zones. In politics, majority takes the votes. When it comes to lobbying, I ask myself, how is the Southeast is going to be able to lobby the Northwest, the Northeast, the North Central, and the South South to vote them as the Senate President? How?
Based on the baking of the cake.
Yes. But if the North Central, peradventure, that is not yet included, the Northwest, that is not yet included in the governance right now, because we have Northeast and Southwest, if they are speaking, people will now want to come with the religious sentiment. That is our Nigerian underground politics. It's not the major politics. We now say, if you pick from the North Central, it's a Muslim. If you take from the Northeast, it's a Muslim. Because of this sentiment, these underground discussions, to avoid the myopic mind of the Christian mindset that Nigerians try to be Islamized.
That's a wrong mentality.
It's a wrong mentality, in quote. But let's take it. If the president-elect have to really see the truth, not to offend the Christian folks, because they have roughly about 45 to 47% of the Nigerian population as well, to be considered, I think, by all ramifications, it should be zoned to the South-South or Southeast. Yes. Either South-South or Southeast. That is without no doubt, which is the Christian folks now. But now, you now have to weigh the South-South and the Southeast. Who baked the better cake?
Because when you start bringing up this baking of cake issue, talk about contribution to the
sources
of the election.
It is very important.
Some of you have this opinion that you are trying to negate zoning.
No.
Which is the foundation that some are saying that it is the basics of giving out this position for that to be balanced.
If it has to be given that position without zoning, I would have tell you the North Central and the Northwest deserve the Senate position.
Why?
Because they brought the majority of the votes in the other 4 zones that are out left now.
But the VP is from the North.
From the Northeast.
North is not occupied. Northeast.
No. We have 6 geopolitical
zones. You're right about that.
We don't have to deceive ourselves. Listen. We have 6 geopolitical zones. The Northeast have their cake already, which is the vice presidency. We have the Northwest and the North Central. We have the South-South and the Southeast left out, because the Southwest have already provided presidency elect.
Yes.
So now, on basic of religion and ethnicity now, which Nigeria is always discussing about, causing a lot of discussions everywhere, that picking a Northern Senate president will lead to Islamization of Nigeria. Then I will have to lead now the aspect of the majority of votes of baking the cake. So now look and consider the 2 other zones. That's why the zone is still involved now. Which other 2 zones that are involved, which is the Southeast and South-South. That is where we now come back again now to make sure we get it right by saying, okay, among these 2 now, these zones that are left, who deserve the Senate president? In politics, in democracy, you have to count by the majority. And by the majority, the South-South deserve it.
South-South deserve it?
Yes. By majority that came from the South-South and Southeast. So for that purpose, I have no problem if the South-South are clamoring that deserve it.
Then what is now the position of the Southeast?
The Southeast.
Because you're talking about the cake, the baking contribution. What about the question of the Southeast?
The Southeast, for me, in the House, in the Senate issue, they could be given a majority leader.
Majority leader?
Yeah. Do you know why?
But that may just negate
No.
The balance of power.
No, it does not
neglect the balance of zoning.
No. Listen, it does not neglect the balance of zoning. Look at the composition from head to the toe. We have in the National Assembly, I think 5 major positions. Or let's say 6 major positions, 6. If you want to bring in the opposition's position too. We have the Senate President, we have the Deputy Senate, we have the House of Whip, the Whip, we have the Majority Leader, we have the Minority Leader. If we are looking at it now, the majority of the vote, the leadership goes to the ruling party because they have the majority at stake here now. I can believe, okay, the presidency have already gone to Southwest. The vice presidency have gone to Northeast. Now, we are talking of Senate presidency. It should go to South-South. We are talking of deputy Senate. It should go to Southeast. We're not talking of majority leader. It can say, okay, let's give it to the North Central because they also gave us a lot of good votes. We'll talk of the whip. We can say, okay, the Northwest. Then we have all the zones well represented without no fear of prejudice. Where we have an issue is the minority leader I spoke now. It is the opposition that comes together to say we want this person as a minority leader. There the APC, the ruling party, has no major influence. It is left for them to choose if it's going to come from the Southeast, if it's going to come from the Southwest, Northwest, wherever they feel. But by what I have just said, we say, all zones have been carried along. All the majority that work hard has also been recognized as an all-inclusive in the democratical division and inclusiveness. There's no sentiment.
No, you cannot say there's no sentiment.
There's no sentiment.
Because from all you've spoken right now.
Okay, are you not telling me Wilson?
From all you've spoken right now, majority of what you've said is based on sentiment.
No.
Because you started with the baking of the cake.
Yes.
You started with a number of voters from each region.
Yeah, what is the sentiment?
And then we're talking about balance of power via zoning.
Okay, what is democracy? Wilson, I know I have no right to ask you a question, but I have a right to ask the public questions. I wish they are calling in and I will ask, what is democracy? Democracy is won by majority. It's decided by majority. There's no way you can take that away. And when I talk about the cake, I speak about the majority. It is just a simple way of explaining how the majority vote came for the president-elect. Okay, we're not talking about finance now. We're not talking about religion now. We're not talking about ethnicity here.
All right, now let's go back to the House, because right now as it stands from the records here, APC 179 members, all right? PDP 115, Labour Party 35, NNPP 19, ADC 2, YPP 1, ABGA 5, SDP 2, total 358. As it stands right now, we have equal numbers of all the opposition summed together and the ruling party. 179, 179. Now, though they've not announced the result of some of this report, we'll talk about Msum, Jaba, Nkwere, Nwangele, Nimo South. They've not announced that result. Ikono, Inina, Kwabam also went to get the result.
Where many are still coming for APC.
Yes. You cannot say that because you're not INEC. You are not INEC, so please, you can't say that.
They are leading.
But right now,
by the election so far done, APC is leading up through the
Until INEC can announce the result, we have not to say this one is winning. But
okay, let's leave it by that.
From what we have APC 179,
okay,
and all the opposition lumped together 179.
Okay.
Do you think that they have a chance of taking a shot at the speakership position in the House of Representatives?
Wilson.
Yes.
First and foremost, I still go back to majority of the votes.
Majority of the votes?
Yes. Why majority of the vote? As at present, one single party has 179 listen, while 5 or 6 political parties has 179. And by parliamentary rules and orders, the majority will provide the Speaker of the House. All he needs to do, listen, is to lobby some political parties, probably like the NNPP, which we're already hearing, even though it is on social media.
Not confirmed yet.
It's not yet confirmed.
Yes.
I'm telling you what I go on news.
Yes.
I listen to news, which we already seen that the NNPP presumably is wanting to come to APC.
No, APC, according to is wooing NNPP.
Yes. And they are
according to report, they've not made up their mind yet. We've not made their stand yet.
That is part of the lobbying, we say. That's why I said the party rule, the majority party, what they do all over the world is not only in Nigeria. It's not only in Nigeria. You lobby. It's the language used in the parliamentaries. You lobby oppositions to add more votes to your votes. There's no way that the person coming, probably being chosen in the House of Rep, might be a well-known politician, a dogged one, a good one, that is also well known by the opposition party, probably the PDP. It could also be that he was probably in the PDP before or in another party before it came to APC, because that's the politics of Nigeria. Either one was there before, the other one is there before. Unlike we that remain in one place, that say we don't play party prostitution. There are very few of us, like Tinubu, like very few of us that
speak for yourself.
Yeah,
speak for yourself.
He has never changed his party since he has been in the party. He has metamorphosis, but never changed his party. We are very few. So, most of these people, he has friends in PDP. He has friends in NNPP. Probably he's from the north. He has friends from the NNPP. He has friends from Labour, probably from the east, in whichever way the decision comes from. All he needs to do is to lobby, probably just 5 from the PDP, 2 from the Labour, the NNPP maybe 3, and probably 1 or 2. Once he has 10, added to the 179.
So you're talking about coalition right now with other political parties?
It's called lobby. Because on the day of the election in the House, everybody has to vote. Everybody has to vote for this. Maybe 2 people comes out. Everybody has to vote. The PDP have to vote. The Labour have to vote. It is the underground job you have done, we said. The lobby you have done underground with the party representatives, the senators, that matters on that day. You will be surprised on that day. APC will get nothing less than 200 votes for the Speaker of the House.
But what if it goes the other way?
It cannot go the other way.
But you're not there.
Let me tell you.
What? Because you talked about lobbying.
Let me tell you why.
The capacity to lobby lies in the hands of all the parties.
Let me tell you why. Let me tell you why. It's a simple arithmetic and mathematics, we say. If the Labour Party, which have about 36 or so, or 34 votes.
35 votes. 35 representatives in the House.
Bring out a speaker now. It means the Labour Party speaker representative have to lobby nothing less than 100 and something votes to become speaker. You know the amount of, I don't want to say finance involvement, because it is also what plays
But lobbying is part of finance involvement.
Yeah, I don't want to, because I know you will go there again when I pick on that one again now. When lobbying is taking place, do you have the financial velocity to lobby those people to join you and work with you? Do you believe the Labour Party speaker that is going to be brought out will have the velocity to come and labor roughly about 50, 60, 70 APC members, roughly about 60 to 80 PDP members, and the NNPP to come and vote for him as a speaker?
Are you not saying that the votes there, they are for sale?
It's not for sale.
But that's what you're saying.
The politics of majority and lobbying.
Lobbying, how do they lobby?
The capacity to lobby.
How do they
lobby? You must
lobby?
first of all have the majority of the votes on hand on your side.
Because right now you talk about the financial capability, the financial muscle.
Let's rose too.
That means money must be involved.
Let me tell you, Wilson, first and foremost.
Yes.
Let me tell you. If APC now have a unified candidate, after they have done their mathematics and zoning, and now said this is our anointed candidate for speakership to contest with the opposition, automatically we have our intact 179 votes. If the one from Imo State still come, it might be addition. Let's leave it like that first. Then, if the PDP say we are bringing out a speaker, I think they have about 103 votes.
115 already in the House of
roughly 115.
115, yes.
Which means they need roughly about 80 to 90 votes to supersede APC unified votes. So now, which means the PDP have to lobby the NNPP, the Labour, the APGA,
The YPP.
the SDP, the YPP, that all have representatives there. And at the same time as PDP is lobbying these same parties, whether financially or by influence of its recognition as a person, because it plays also a role. The person being brought out, his influence. What has he done? What has he impacted on the people around him, irrespective of the party he belongs to? All these things plays a role. What has he impacted on his people? So those influence of the personality being brought up matters too. So now, at the same time, the candidate of APC is also lobbying same time. Don't undermine that situation, Wilson, among these oppositions. So automatically, it is going to be a ball game over for the opposition if the APC is able to only lobby 10 people, only 10 people. Let me just only NFPP.
But how are you sure that
They
all
have the
members
majority.
of the APC will vote for the APC candidate?
The NNPP?
APC. How are you sure that they will all vote for the APC candidate?
Let me tell you, Wilson.
Will you be able to count their votes? Are you going to maneuver them and manipulate them to vote for
Listen
that
to me,
particular
listen.
candidate?
Look
What if
at
they're
the-
not in tune with the APC candidate because
Look
of
at-
the zoning?
Look at the
factor.
political setting at present, Wilson. We are all not blind. Nigerians are not blind. After the election, look at what is happening in the different parties as at present. Look at Labour Party, power struggle, accusation of corruption, indictment here and there, right from the national chairman to the youth leadership.
Anyway,
The
that case is
divisions
in court.
Sir, let me speak. Party politics play a role whether there's a unification or no unification among the party.
But they are accusing opposition for
Wait,
causing it.
sir.
They are accusing the political parties
Will
for
you
having
allow
their
me to
hand in the
will you
squabble.
allow me to explain my reasons
Okay, go ahead.
for
Explain.
making my propositions?
Yes.
The reason I'm giving to you, as a moment, the Labour Party is divided as a force. In PDP, the same problem is there. Right from the national head, there's a division as far as to the last. The only party as at the moment, where there's no division, where there's unity, is APC. And I pray to God.
Well, what about NNPP? They are not
Wait,
divided. They don't
wait,
have any court
you
case
wait
or any
now.
case.
Listen,
Yes.
NNPC is just few votes. I'm talking of the major, the party that have majority in the House of Rep we are talking about now.
Are
About
you-
the president, the speakership.
Are you not saying
If
that?
you don't have majority,
Hold
can
on.
you produce a
Hold
speaker?
on. Now-
Are you not telling me that NNPP is going to bring out a speaker?
Okay, hold on.
Or
Hold
is
on,
the
hold
YPP
on.
is going to bring out a speaker
Are you not saying
that people
that?
are going to vote for?
Are you not saying that the score between Wike and of course other factors will come into play in these?
Definitely, let me tell you why. Party politics, when there's fractions, there are fractions now in the House of Rep, elected House of Rep, that says this Aburime should remain. There are also fractions that are House of Rep elected that are saying no, Papa is the one to come.
That's for the Labour Party.
At that aspect. There are also House of Representative members that are siding with Wike. There are also House of Representative members that are siding with IU. So, how are they going to unify themselves to form a formidable force? A house divided is a house bound to fall against a house united. So, it is more or less more plausible, more sensitive to think positively that the most likely to choose the Speaker of the House is APC and to take it because he has the more likely the chance to woo, to lobby his way into the smaller parties. Because the smaller parties want recognitions as well, we're saying. Do you believe that in the lobby bargain, NNPC Paraventure is being offered a position that they know this position, they got it, they will have enough strength over even PDP that have majority. Do you believe they will not accept it and dance to the tune with immediate alacrity? Or is it the Labour coming, the newcomer, that will be offered an opposition to be maybe the house whip that they never dreamed to have, that they will not dance to the tune of the APC? The only strong opposition that is there that might want to stand their ground is the PDP, which the house is also divided. So, our possibility, the Senate President is going to be produced by APC, the Speaker of the House of Representatives is going to be produced by the APC. All other positions, principal positions, could be diversified among the lobby strategy, the wooing strategy, or the zone arrangement.
So what you're saying right now, other opposition don't stand a chance in both the red and the green chamber
Of choosing
it's going to be
the
one
head
party
principal
or
officer.
three.
It's not possible, Wilson, because APC have the majority already there. All they need is few votes to add to their votes. And APC is a unified force. If you even look at the meeting of the governorship recently, the governorship meeting of the APCs, which is about 20 governors as at present, if I'm not wrong, or 22, they all came together. They made a decision to tell you that the party is standing on one ground. They made a decision, look, they advised the president-elect for a proper and a genuine, all-inclusive government. Please let the Senate president to come either from the south-south or the southeast to avoid diversion in the party. They must have, the northern governor were there, the southeast governor were there, the south-south governor from the APC, all governors were there. They are now agreed and advised now the president-elect. With such unified decisions, and before that advice, I believe they must have consulted the House of elected, the president, to make such decisions.
All right, now.
So now, there's a unified house against two divided house. The only unified house among the opposition is NNPP, which is likely to also join APC very soon.
But you're not sure of it?
Yeah, listen, in politics, don't say I'm not sure in Nigeria.
Because you say very soon, that means you are giving that 100% stamp because you are not there. You're not in their mind.
Very, very soon. I can guarantee you that.
Okay, hold on.
Negotiation have started. And whatever has started negotiation, there's a possibility of a decision.
Possibility of a decision.
Yes.
Now, if you have the Senate President from the APC, the Speaker of the House of Representatives from the APC, do you think that will not have a rubber stamp National Assembly?
No.
Knowing fully well that we have a one-party system that will be tied to the apron string of the executive.
No, sir. In a parliamentary system, every senator, every House of Rep is not there only to go and be making noise. It's there to make law to the benefit of his constituency. So whenever law that a PDP senator brings to the House, it is also going to be debated, read, and approved or not approved. So what is rubber stamp? They are all equal senators. They are all equal honorables. Nobody is a senior to anybody. But the only difference is that when decisions are being made, there is a head. Because an organization without a head is like an anarchy. So that's why they have the Senate president, the deputy, the minority leaders. These people are to represent their people as first and foremost as their prime responsibility, not the executive. So why would they be a rubber stamp? In the issue of Ahmed Lawal, we saw how the executive and the chambers all work in accordance. When they disagreed in some certain positions, they agreed in some certain positions, they rejected some bills from the federal, while the executive rejected some bills from the Senate to go for a review as well. But there was a synergy. I think any Senate president coming now, House of Speaker coming now, he should do more, better than Ahmed Lawal in the synergy to work with the executive without sentiment. He should play his role according to his interest for the people, for the nation, and for the interest to make the law that will better the nation before thinking of the executive. So if an executive is bringing a bill, it is the responsibility of the House as oversight to examine it and say, Sir President, this bill has come out here. They did it to the President Buhari several times. So you can't say rubber stamp because the Senate President is an APC, because the Speaker is an APC. No. There are colleagues there from other parties that debate these matters together. That at the end, when it passed to reading, they vote it into law.
But don't forget the comment.
Sometimes in the voting of bills,
says that majority will always have their way, minority will have their say. Because that's the kind of House of Major end up saying the 10th Assembly.
Listen. If you look at some bills that came even to law recently, it was not majority of the APC that even voted the bills in. Some of the bills was a divided vote of APC being halved and PDP with full force supported the bill. And the bill came to pass against even the APC that it was majority that become minority in presentations of those bills. So on such conditions, it tells you that sometimes the minority, so-called minority, have a say. How do they have a say? When law is coming to play, they all are there to speak their mind.
It's say even more supporting roles.
Why would they support wrong?
Because no, I mean in terms of supporting roles, not wrong this time. Whatever the majority say, they just have to align with it.
No, we saying.
Because they are the majority, these guys are the minority.
No, we saying. Have you not seen a situation? I do watch these parliamentary discussions when they read the bills and their argumentation and debates. Have you not seen a PDP senator bringing a bill and APC senator supporting the bill? Have you not seen a PDP senator opposing the bill brought by PDP senator? If that can happen, that even your own party man brought a bill and your own party members opposed it and another party supported it, it shows that there is a balance in the parliament.
A balance in the parliament?
Yes, there's a balance. There's a balance. It does not mean that always the majority have their say. Sometimes the majority party, because when you say majority, you are trying to say because APC have the majority, Only their bills will pass through the House. Wrong impression to give to Nigerians. Because bills are being voted by the senators.
All right.
Not by the party.
All right.
They
If
represent.
you're of the opinion that it's going to be APC in the red chamber, APC in the green chamber, do you think that with these personalities in the same APC with different opinions about the zoning formula, because some may be clamoring for the south, like you rightly said, others may be clamoring also for the southeast. Some may say, no, it's time for the northwest. With all these divisions of ideology in the house, I don't think that PDP and other opposition may just cash in on that.
Listen, you know, in politics, you must play politics. In politics,
You must play politics.
And what is the politics? The politics is before the election. 100 people can aspire for a position. Before the election, you see that with time, if it's 100, it becomes maybe 50, from 50 it becomes 20, from 20 it breaks down to 10. From 10 it breaks back to 5, which eventually becomes 2. It is the right of every senator to aspire for the Senate president, irrespective of zone. There's no law in the parliamentary system that said the Senate presidency must be zoned to anywhere. Specifically, the APC constitution does not recognize zoning in the constitution. It is only the PDP that has zoning in their constitution, well spelled out. But because it is the practice of the day before the APC came to government, that is why you see that this zoning is also being played in APC. So in as much as that there's nothing law in the parliamentary system that says this zone. So everybody, whether you're from south, northeast, even from the southwest, has a right to say, I want to be a Senate president.
So everybody have the right to say, I want to take a shot at a particular position.
Yes. There's no law that stands against it constitutionally, either in the party or by national, or by the order from the parliamentary system. So it is the humanism consideration of us as humans that said, no, we must carry everybody along. Because Nigeria is a diversified nation with different tribes, different religions, different ethnicities, different way of thinking. That is where the federal character now came into the Nigerian system. To say, okay, yeah, because of the different characters of Nigerians, let's always try to carry everybody out so that nobody's fate being taken away. So now, if we now come to say zone, they will start from the head. That is why I still specifically tell you, the only two people that can specifically say now, we have a right to Senate presidency, we have a right to speakership, south, south, southeast. Why? We have the vice president from the north, as you earlier said, which will generalize north as the Muslims. But we forgot that there's a middle belt there, which are Christian, Nigeria, Plateau, and other states. You understand me? But we call them the north. So let's presume the north has provided the vice president. Now it's left with two geopolitical zones, which is the south and southeast. So it's logically, politically, and democratically not to think it should go to the south or southeast. And they will not say majority wins the votes. That's where I now come back to what I said earlier, that who gave the president-elect the majority vote? Is it the south-south or the southeast?
When you talked about the cake.
Yes. Now we'll now find out that the south-south gave the majority of the vote ahead of the southeast. So logically, it is for the southeast to respect that stance, that these people did better than us. Next time we should try and do better so that we can claim a right to it.
Quite interesting, because it stands right now, according to a report. We have 109 total for the red chamber, which is the Senate, and of course 358 total for the green chamber, which is the House of Representatives. Now let's break it down into various factions according to political parties. The ruling party, APC, 59 senators. PDP, 36 senators. Labour Party, 8 senators. NNPP, 2 senators. YPP, 1 senator. ABGA, 1 senator. SDP, 2 senators. Now let's take a look at the Green Chamber, which is the House of Representatives. The ruling party, APC, 179 House of Rep members. For the PDP, 115. NNPP, 19. ADC, 2. YPP, 1. ABGA, 5. And SDP, 2. Many two federal constituencies, namely Ikono, Imi in Akwa Ibom State, and Nso, Njaba, Nkwere, Nwangele in Imo State are yet to be declared by the Independent National Electoral Commission as of the time of that particular report. As it stands, 179 for the ruling party, and if you lump the positions together, 179, total 158. From what Aras said, he said, look, you just can't take it away from the APC because of the number disparity. They are equal. He said you cannot rule away lobbying. For the Senate, from what he said, the number is glaring, is going to be APC all the way. What do you feel about this? So tell me right now, Aras, what should Nigerians be expecting from the 10th Assembly?
Thank you very much, Wilson. From the 10th Assembly, I think Nigerians are very hopeful because I think it's going to be a first colorful Senate we are going to have and House of Rep we are going to have because it's very diversified, full of a lot of young people, a lot of new ideas are going to come in from the Labour Party, from the NNPP, YPP, which is the youth party too. We should expect a lot of vibrancy from them. So then compare with the APC members that are old members there, the PDP members that are old members with experience. By building them all together, I think we are going to have a very robust, a very well Nigerian-oriented Senate and House of Rep. It is not going to be a business as usual. Going to be hot debates. We're going to expect that. I pray that whoever is going to be the Senate, the President and the Speaker should be able to carry everybody along, irrespective of the party they are from, carry the opinions, weigh the opinions to the interest of Nigeria and not to personal interests. I think it's going to be very robust. I expect a lot to come out of it because for me, the President-elect coming based on antecedent of capacity, sensitivity, has always been an all-inclusive person, that all his government has always been all-inclusive with different tribes and religions, ethnic people in his cabinet in the past. I think he's going to be an all-inclusive man. And if the House of Senate and the House of Rep also play the same unified role, I think Nigeria is headed ahead of unity, about to bring peace back to Nigerians, about these senators about to bring peace back to their constituency, bring projects to their constituency, irrespective of which party they belong. They should not be greedy, because we know most times these young politicians are fond of greed, I'll say. They mostly after the money, forget their mere interest there. That's why you see that many of them goes there, the constituency complains a lot. This is not the era where they will go there and start come and be sharing a grinding machine for us and start bringing what they call it, sewing machine for us. I think this is the time our representatives should make laws that make people that have shops to have lights, to have facilities that enable their business to prosper. I understand. Make rules, build facilities that will encourage the people, bring out laws that will be close to the grassroots, especially, because they are the people most times that are always lost out in the governance. Because when they are there already above, the fair that what they have paid them, they have been paid. I think this time around, we know some of senators that are coming that are they have done very well as governors. Some have done well as individuals before they came into politics. Some are businessmen, like I believe like the bike rider man, Okada rider man, or like the pastor that want to without expectations. Such a pastor now coming that have been preaching all this while for a good governance, going there, I think he's going to try to represent what he has been preaching before. Bring a good governance to his people. The Okada driver knows the experience he went through, even though as a graduate, he was an Okada driver. He knows the pains he went through. He knows the pains the environment, the grassroots are going through. I think he's going to bring the same. While some of the youth also want, they have most European experience. Some bought their ticket when they were even abroad. So I think with the foreign experience, they're also bringing into the new chamber. We also bring a lot of new innovations to the chamber. So I think Nigeria should be very well expecting good policies, good legislative arms of government this time around. And looking at what the President Buhari just did last too, I think it is a laudable, also something to laud him, giving the judiciary their independence, the local government their independence, which the House of Representatives already have there as well. So I think they have the right to make their budgets. They have the right to do the needful, to be able to capture Nigerians along. Not one arm of government now suppressing the other arm of government or dictating to the other arm of government how to use their money to impact on the people. So I think it is going to be a different ball game in this 2023 when the president-elect, the Senate House, the House of Rep, the House of Assembly also go back. Let us not forget the grassroots, which is the House of Assembly, because we undermine them. They should not be undermined as well.
The House of Assembly.
Yes, we do not be undermined, because rules are also passed up, must also come to the House of Assembly to be ratified. That is where the federal character comes in too, because you make a law up, the different states also have to ratify those laws. And if you look at the vibrant youth, I'm sorry, Wilson, I have a little bit cough. If you look at the vibrant youth in the House of Assembly this time around, I think we are expecting a lot, a lot. Nigerians should expect a lot. I only pray they should not go there and let the youth juvenism enter their brain. They do not allow the money to enter their brain. They should not allow I be chair, enter their brain.
They're not forgetting governance.
Not forgetting governance. Not forgetting the reason they were voted. That they are there because of the people. And that is the people they are to impact their democracy upon.
Thank you.
Not themselves.
Thank you.
Nor the party.
Or the party. Thank you so much, Rasa. President, a wonderful analysis. We made it clear from analysis that there is no way the opposition can really take up the main seat, talking about the Senate or the speakership position, because that's what they are jostling for. But from analysis, from what is on the ground, from the numbers, it's like an uphill task. If it ever happens, one says it's going to be from between 1 and 10, it's only 0. Zero. Wow. 0. Interesting. Thank you so much. His opinions are his. It has nothing to do with ITV, but we did our best to make sure that we follow rules and regulations governing the airwaves. Did it again some other time on this frequency.